So for today's video, we are going to give her a bath. Let's do it. So what do? We actually bought the hole from Tractor Supply. That way we can put it over there. We just have the leash with the collar. And we're just gonna wet her first and then get her brushed off. I'm gonna get the hose and I'm gonna get the soap and the brush or scrub. Sit. Sit. Aphrodite, sit. 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 Good girl. So I want her to calm down and just sit down. But I'm waiting for my husband to finish up with the hose so that I can get the hose. Sit. Sit. Aphrodite. Sit. Aphrodite, sit. Back here, girl. Thank you. You're very dirty. Sit. Aphrodite, sit. Sit. She's a stubborn girl, and I'm not very consistent with my training with her. And she lost a lot of weight. Aphrodite. 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 Don't worry about the lizards. Come here. Sit. Stinky dog. Sit. Sit. Come on, sit. Sit. I know that is taking so long with it. Sit. Sit. Aphrodite, sit. Just love her all over. Sit. Thank you. You have to be consistent with her because Great Danes have a very stubborn attitude. Sit. Sit. No. No. Sit. Come on, sit. Aphrodite. Sit. 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 Come on. Sit. Aphrodite, sit. Can you get the scrub, the sponge, and the soap?
Sponge, soap?
Yeah, and give me the hose. Sit. Come on, Aphrodite.
Several people have asked me, even my husband asked me before when we first started dating and also when we moved in together, he did ask me, why do I love dogs so much and why do I want to have so many dogs in my life? Well, one of the things that many people don't know is that I grew up in Tarlac, Philippines. I was raised by my grandparents and my papa, my grandfather. He had dogs when I was a young kid. Throughout the time that I was there in the Philippines, I grew up with dogs. And I remember I have a brindle colored dog. It's a Philippine native dog and we named him Tiger. I also have a black dog and also a native Philippine dog and we named him Patrick. Patras. The reason why he's named Patras is because he's always moving backwards, and Atras is meaning move backwards. And I believe that is the same in Spanish. So why do I love dogs? Why do I want to have so many dogs? Who would not want to have dogs? Dogs give you love, care, and we may think that they don't understand us humans, but they do. They can feel when we are sad. They can feel when we are feeling down. And they give us the love and care and their kindness, so unconditional. They don't really expect anything in return from us. But again, who is not going to have any dogs? Who is not going to want to have any dogs? Even the cats. All our pets, they expect nothing from us. All they want and all they know is to give us love, to give us a companionship. So yes, that's one of the reasons why I love dogs. Dogs, human beings will live and they will come and go in our life, but our dogs, our pets, they will always be part of us. Even if we leave them for a number of days or years, we may disappear for those that are deployed. When you come back, you will know that your dogs remember who you are. And they have the same love and affection that you once had before you left. So yes, it's a very unconditional love that I cannot ever get from anyone. When you're married or in any type of relationship, you cannot actually just say that your relationship, your love is unconditional, because you do expect that your partner is going to give you the same amount of love or even just a little bit of respect and everything else. So there is a conditional when you're in a relationship. So it's not the same when you have a pet, that they cannot tell you that, oh, you have to love me, you have to care for me. No, they don't expect you to do that, because there are other dogs out there that they are left behind, they are abandoned, and they will love their owners regardless of what they've been through. So that is one of the reasons why I love dogs. And unfortunately, I am allergic to cats, so I cannot have cats. But I'm sure if ever I did not get scratched from a cat before, because I did get scratched from a cat, but if I didn't get any scratch from a cat, and if I am not allergic to a cat, I'm sure I would love cats as well, because I love animals. Well, not all. I cannot say that I do love all, because I can't. Anything that is slimy, anything that crawls like snake, those just definitely is not my type of animal or reptiles or whatever. But yes, one reasons why I love to have dogs and I love having dogs is because they give you the unconditional love, unconditional care that no one can ever give you, even your parents. Their love of a parent is not unconditional. I am sorry, but yes, it's not unconditional, because your parents expect you that you will respect them. They expect that you will give the love that they give you will be returned with respect and kindness, and that's just the nature of it. So yes, they will not ask you to pay back or anything, but then again, there are parents, there are traditional, and there are other culture that they will expect you to pay back or whatever, because it's just the way they are. But yes, so love of a human being is never going to be unconditional. That is just my opinion. Disclaimer, it is my opinion. It's not based on any study or whatever, but that's just based on observation, on my own personal opinion, personal experience. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I love having dogs, and I will never ever stop having dogs. Yes, they are a lot of work. They are a lot of big expense to actually have them as part of your life, as part of your family member, but they are worth it. Everything that you will spend, every penny of it, every effort that you give, they are worth it.
So for those that don't know me, I have a Chihuahua. That was my first ever here in the US. Coco. I named him after Coco Martin, but just the Coco part because that's not. I did not name Coco Martin. I took Coco out of Coco Martin, but his name is not Coco Martin. It's just Coco Blanc Flavel. I'm not going to give you guys the full name of my baby Coco, but yes. And then once I got married, I have additional Chihuahuas. There was Bear Bear, which here's a picture of Bear Bear, and there was also Lilo, and there was also Charlie, and there was also I have had a lot of dogs in my life throughout these 6 years of marriage, but I've had my first Great Dane was Brian. Here's a picture of Brian with my husband. That's him. And then I have Lian. Those are the two first Great Dane I had. And then they had an oops litter. And then after they had the oops litter, my husband and I both decided to have one more just to keep into the family line. But because of my son, there was a medical emergency, we had to let go of Brian and the rest of the puppies that I kept. This Aphrodite, the one that I'm giving a bath now, is also Lian's daughter. And one of the reasons that we had to let go of the rest of my dogs was because of medical situations that I couldn't handle both all the dogs and the human beings in the house. But yes, and recently, just a few months ago in April, Aphrodite's owner, actually the one that adopted her from me, decided that because they're going through marital situations and personal situations, they had to give her back to me. I did ask how much they would want for her, and they said that no, if I'm going to take her back, they're not going to expect to get any money for her. They just expect that I will take her back and love her. Of course I will love her. A little background about Aphrodite. Aphrodite was actually, when she was born, she was breathing for a little bit and then she stopped breathing. And I have to take care of her 24 hours. I had to make sure that I can revive her. And then now here she is. 2.5 years later, she's here. Look how big she is. And I could not even imagine, or I can't thank God more for bringing her back. I know I cried a lot when I lost her, when I had to rehome her and find her a new family. But I'm very thankful for the new family for taking good care of her and for bringing her back and trusting her back to me. And she lost a lot of weight because she was adjusting, and also because her mom was stealing most of the food and she wasn't really eating a lot. She was adjusting to the new environment. But now I'm going to take good care of her and will make sure that I can watch her and make sure that she eats. And she actually eats. It's not that she doesn't eat. She eats a lot. She eats at least 4 scoops for breakfast, 4 scoops for lunch, and 4 scoops for dinner. So she eats a lot of food. But she lost quite a lot of weight, and I think it's also part of the separation anxiety that she experienced because she was missing the former owner that adopted her from me. But she's adjusting. She's very clingy to me, and I love that about her. She's also clingy to my husband, but if she has to choose between my husband and I know that she would always choose me, and that's one of the things why I love her. I think because she was with me for a year and a half when she was born, there's just that special bond that we both have, especially when I have to revive her and make sure that she's alive. When she was born, I was really crying. That's why her name is Aphrodite, because she's the queen of love, the goddess of love. And for me, that just means a lot because she brought a lot of love, and she was really just an angel when she came and she was born. And I just I couldn't accept that she was not gonna make it, and I'm very thankful that she did. Look, the happiness that she brings in my life today. And just a little info also. No, we are not getting back into breeding anymore. Maybe when we have a big yard, or maybe once we have a yard, I would probably get a license and be in a breeder's business. But I don't know if I would be able to do that now, because I just want to have them. My husband was asking me if I'm going to breed with Aphrodite, and I says no, I don't want Aphrodite to go through that hassle. So, yep. So I have semi-retired for breeding for now, and breeding will be. It was a great experience, and will be part of something that I would consider in the near future or in the far future. But yes, I will do breeding if we have a big yard, or once we buy the dream land that my husband wants. And I'm hoping maybe next year we will be able to purchase that land that he wants. And then once we purchase that, and once we build our dream home that we want to build for our second home, then maybe yes, definitely, why not? It's a great experience. I learned a lot through that breeding situation with Leanne and Brian. So, but I'm not quite sure if I will breed a different breed of dogs. I know that there's a lot of Maltese, Cotton de Terrier, but I think I will stick with Great Dane, and maybe also Labradors. But for now, no, not in the. I'm not going to breed Leanne anymore, because Leanne is already 5 years old, and I am not going to breed Aphrodite at all. So yes, there will be no breeding for any of my Great Danes, and no, I'm not going to breed Chad and Frizzy because they are siblings. So for an info, if you guys are wondering what I'm trying to pick there, those are just some debris that I tried to get off, and because she had a lot of flakes, dry skin, so some of them kind of stick on her, and I have to pick it one by one. So yes, why do I actually trust that they don't have any fleas or tick is because I use, if you notice, I use either Dawn or Palmolive soap on them. That actually helps prevent with flea and tick. So yes, I do use that as their soap for bathing. And then after that, later you will see the conditioner that I used. I'm not sure if I already used it here. I've been talking and blabbing, but yes, I do use the horse conditioner, which is the MNT. So it was I can't remember what the M stands for, but it's tail. The T stands for tail, but that's the horse conditioner shampoo for the horse, and that's how I keep their coat shiny and smooth. So that's what I use for them. I use that for our Labrador also, and I also use it for my Chihuahua. So yes, I use mostly, most of the time I do use Dawn, especially the green or the blue color Dawn. That helps. It's really good for preventing tea and flick. And I tried and tested, and it's also what my vet have recommended for me to use instead of using those expensive shampoo that you buy in the store, but doesn't really help yet. So my vet recommended for me to use the Dawn or Palmolive, so that yes. So in case somebody will bash or say, why are you using dish soap? Yes, it's actually have been recommended by the vet. So you guys can either try it adjust yourself or not. So whatever works for you. Sometimes what works for others don't work for the other people. So what works for me may not work for you, but what works for you may not work for me. So it works both ways, okay? Another fun fact about Aphrodite, if you guys notice, there's not much of white spot on her. So she's almost pure black. If you notice, there's just a small spot of white behind her back leg, and also a small spot on her chest. So it's very rare. It's a very rare color for pure black, and they are expensive. If you have a pure black Great Dane, if you have a pure blue Great Dane, they are expensive. So yes, so selling dogs here in the US is very different when you sell in the Philippines. So I guess I did not use the conditioner for the dog here yet, so because I noticed that I still use the Palmolive here. I'm not rubbing her anymore with a sponge. I am just putting the soap. So yes, so selling dogs or breeding dogs in the Philippines and breeding dogs in the US are very different from each other, because here you actually need to have a license. You have to make sure that you get the health certificate done, but with the Philippines you don't need to go through that hassle. And also the breeders can just do all those vaccinations and everything. They don't need to have the Florida state or the country state. I don't even know what they call it in the Philippines, because there's no such thing. But here in the US, whatever state you are in, you have to make sure that you have that state vet certificate before you can sell. Otherwise, it's illegal for you to sell dogs or to sell puppies that don't have that certificate. It protects you as the breeder, and it also protects the buyer. So also for the Philippines, there's a lot of things that you can do in the Philippines without any license, and you won't really get that heavy of a trouble. But here in the States, it's not possible. Everything has to have a license, everything has to have a permit. So yes, when I did start breeding, I have to make sure that I get my vet actually assisted me in getting everything that I needed for the puppies, to make sure that I am doing it the legal way, even though I am not a licensed breeder. So yes, you don't need to be a licensed breeder, as long as when you sell the puppies, you have to make sure that they have the proper vaccination certificate that is actually approved by the state and by the county that you are in. Here I am trying to dry my baby Aphrodite. Yes, she is still a baby. So for the Great Danes, they actually is still a puppy for up to 24 to 28 months. So here she is turning 3 years old in December 5. So yes, she's still a baby for me. So when I do dry my dogs, I usually really dry their tail, and I dry the chest first. I make sure that that's dry, and that's all I don't know what else to say. This voiceover has gone on forever, and I've talked about a lot of things that I don't know if it even makes sense anymore. But yes, so and I was actually looking at the sky because it's been thundering and everything, and I think it's about to rain, and we actually almost got rain. So that's the shampoo conditioner for the horse that I use. It's the I think it says Mantle and Tail. So that's what I use for the Great Danes and for all my dogs. It keeps their fur, it keeps their skin shiny and smooth. I don't know if there's other things that you guys like. I am struggling here. I'm trying to remove the leash from the hook because it's starting to rain and I don't want to get rained on. And here we are. I'm going to start packing up because we have to go. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.